It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Shorman and this is the Forum on Eagle Community Television. As you can see, our guest today is Coach Mark Johnson of the Fort Hays State Tigers. He's their basketball coach and is the all-time winningest basketball coach at Fort Hays State University in their history. Coach, welcome to our program.
I appreciate you having me. This time of year, we're excited for the basketball season to get underway.
So, off-season, I assume we go through the off-season, you just sit around waiting for the first day. Is that what happens?
Well, somewhat. You better get some players in between, and so we spend a lot of times after the season's over trying to recruit players for your next upcoming year, and then you go into the summer and you have your basketball camp. We really have our camp has really grown over the last few years. We've been able to, have some kids come in and hopefully we can teach them some things in the summer that makes them better basketball players.
So how does the recruiting process go? Is obviously there's the big Division I schools that go after and they recruit a bunch of players. Where does Fort Hays fit into that recruiting process?
Yeah, there's definitely, I think our recruiting's a little later than, let's say, Kansas, University of Kansas or Kansas State. We're kind of gonna have to wait to see what comes your way, what level, players are gonna sign at. I think if you're gonna be good at Fort Hays State University, though, we have to be able to beat some Division I recruiting. Now, we're not gonna beat the BCS level schools, but I think there's 350 Division I schools nowadays. We have to be able to, get some kids that maybe we can beat out some of those lower 100 Division I schools because, the MIAA is such a strong conference that if you don't have kids that are Division I talent to some degree, you're going to have a hard time being successful.
What do you look for when you go out? Because you talk about the Division I kids, they have a chance to go there, but how do you line up and say, hey, this young player fits at Fort Hays State?
Yeah, I think
is there a list you have?
Yeah, there's an evaluation process you always go through. I think the thing at our level, we can't get caught up in when you're talking basketball, what type of player they are. We're trying to get the best players we can. We can't really, they don't fit our system. Maybe at the higher levels you can worry about system. So it doesn't matter if you're big or small, whatever. We're trying to get the most talented guy, but then also we want the guy who fits in with what we're trying to do. And what we're trying to do is, again, have coachable people. We want people we feel like that will coach and be unselfish, be good teammates, and that's really the things we're looking for when we watch them play. One, obviously, talent. Like we said, you got to have the talent. We're watching for talent, but we really want to see how they interact with their coaches, how they interact with their teammates throughout a game, because I think you can really tell a lot about a person about whether they're helping a teammate or bringing a teammate down, and how they're responding again to their coaching, and so those are the things we're looking for, the talent, and then what kind of character and how they respond to coaching and their fellow teammates.
Now, is there an area you look for? Because I know you have a couple local area players that you're looking at, and possibly will be Fort Hays State as well.
Oh yeah, always. That's everybody. I think you're always looking local because those are the kids that, sometimes are I don't mean this the easiest to get. I don't care where you're at. If you're in Florida, it's easier to recruit a player from Florida to come to play for you. Same thing with us. If we can get a kid from Kansas, a kid from Western Kansas, and we get in a recruiting battle with some other institutions, we feel like we have a better chance of getting them. We've been fortunate to have some good players in this area the last 5-6 years. We've been able to get some of those, and they've really made a big difference in our program. We're very excited. Can't talk about some kids that are from the upcoming year until they sign in November. There's a couple kids out here in our neck of the woods that we feel like are very good basketball players, and we think their future will be bright at Fort Hays State. And that's the thing we want to keep doing. Anytime there's someone that's good enough for us in our our area, we're going to go after them hard and want them to be a part of our program.
Part of the advantage is maybe they have a better shot at playing at a Fort Hays State than sitting on the bench for 4 years somewhere else.
At some places, no question. Yeah, that's the selling point we try to give them. I think the things we can offer is possibly more playing time, and I think winning. Winning is a big part of enjoying your when you're an athlete, is enjoying your college experience. When you're winning, I think you enjoy your classes more. When you're winning, your social setting is better. When you're losing as a competitor, that kind of affects everything you do. So I think a thing we can sell to people is we've been a winning program for quite some time. You can come here, you get to play, and you're going to be on winning teams, and we're going to be playing for things. You go to some of your lower Division I's, you're struggling to go 10-20, and there's not really anything you're playing for at the end of the year. We feel like we have potential to play in NCAA tournaments and do some things very, very special.
Now, I'm guessing that gets you in the door some places, just your record, being a winningest coach. I think your percentage of winning is over 70%. over your career at Fort Hays State. And you look at that, you talk about playing for a winner. My guess is that gets you in with some parents and gets you in the door with some people as well that maybe some other schools wouldn't actually even get a chance to talk
I think so, and not just my time at Fort Hays. I think you look at the time before I've got here, the success that the men's basketball program has had at Fort Hays. I mean, definitely allows you, like you said, to get in the door with some people and get involved. And I think in recruiting, that's the hardest thing to do, is get in the door and get involved, and then be able to sell yourself to them and your program to them. I mean, sometimes, that's the biggest hurdle. Once you can get in, now it's you can able to state your case and go. So I think, winning, and like I said, I think winning is very important to kids and athletes and people that are competitive. A lot of the people we're recruiting are good players. Usually they've been very successful teams and program state champions or things like that. So they're used to winning and want to continue to do that. And I think Fort Hays, that's hopefully something that we can continue to offer, that, hey, you come here, you're going to win some games.
I'm sure there's people sitting out there watching going, Gary, ask him about this year, what's going to happen. And so who do you have playing this year? Who are we going to see out on the court this year?
Yeah, it'll be, we have, last year we had 3 players that are really, really tough. Craig Nicholson, Carson Conradi, and Dwayne Brunson. Those 3 guys really carried the load for us. We're 3 all-conference caliber players. Carson and Dwayne were done. They were seniors. We still have Craig Nicholson back, our point guard, which, he was first team all conference, so I think that's a good starting point. That's an important position. So to have Craig there is really, going to be a big key for us. And I think we have a lot of guys last year that kind of were in the role players behind those 3 that this year really have to step up and elevate their game. And guys like Jake Stoppel, Choki Mukubo, James Fleming, Jared Tadlock, guys like that really need to, I think their positions are going to be elevated. And then we brought in some new guys that we feel like really have to come in and be able to step in and take some of that burden off their returners and soften some of the blow from losing those guys. I think, we have another kid from Croatia with Thomas Gabrick, who's back for us, who started every game last year. We brought another kid from Croatia, Dom Samick from University of Denver. I feel like a big 6'8" kid that really can do something for us and needs to. Royce Williams is a Division I transfer from Weber State, a guard that we feel like needs to come in and really do some of the things that Carson Conradi did last year. Then we have Jeremy Wilson from Wichita, another Wichita product like Craig Nicholson coming in that maybe gives us some athleticism we didn't have last year. So, I think it's going to be a combination of some new guys and then some returners elevating their games to go along with Craig to hopefully continue the success. Last year we were an NCAA tournament team, and obviously that's always our goal every year. We want to be back there in the NCAA tournament and see what happens.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about that, is how you go about your goal setting for the year when you get your players together and say, here's what we want to do. We're also going to talk about the MIAA, because a tough conference to be a part of. We'll be back with more with Coach Johnson after this.
Youthful body, tight tummy, smooth facial lines. Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery is here to help you achieve your goals and give yourself the new look you've always wanted. Greystone offers sophisticated surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures. With services now available locally, there's no need to wait any longer. Contact Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery at Hayes Medical Center today or online at greystonecosmetic.hayesmed.com.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum. I guess we could call it a sports forum today with Coach Johnson of Fort Hays State University. Our program is brought to you by Hayes Med. And if you have any questions, comments, ideas, or suggestions about who we should interview, send them to me at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also find us on Facebook. If you're there, look under ECTV Forum and connect with us. It has some programs, some great listings of things we have. You can also go to hayespost.com and find some of our previous shows as well. Again, our guest is Mark Johnson, who is the head basketball coach at Fort Hays State University. Mark not only is the winningest coach there, but is heading into a new season, and we went into the break talking about the MIAA. I don't know if it's the toughest conference in the country, but it has to be at the top of the list.
I would think so, and I think the great thing about the MIAA is just the depth of the conference. I think that's what at every sport, you talk to every coach, there might be other conferences that their first or second best teams in their league would be very comparable to the MIAA, maybe at times better, but I don't think anybody has the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams that are so good, and that's what makes this conference such a challenge, and just a grind week in, week out, trying to win games. I mean, it's a very the depth of the field is very strong.
Well, the national championship or national champion came out of the MIAA,
yeah,
and
Central
of course
Missouri.
you'll be up against them.
Right, yeah, Central Missouri, I believe. Opening weekend of conference this year in December. We'll get the defending national champion, and like I said, every game is challenging, and that's what makes it a fun time to be in this league, and it's just a great challenge.
You went through the postseason last year and came up within a couple free throws of beating Central Missouri. You see what they did going there. When you look at setting down and setting your goals for the year, you have this group of players. Some are new, some you know.
Right.
How do you set your goal? You say we want to win the national championship. Where do you start?
We never do that. I think you don't know where you're going to be at the end of the year, and I think if you set goals too lofty or too low, so what we try to do is just start the year off. Our goal is to work hard every day. I know that sounds simple, but that's what we're trying to get done. Work hard every day. Every day we talk about you're either getting better, you're getting worse, and just keep that mentality and just go day after day, try to improve, try to outwork the other team. And then I think once we get into the second semester of our season later, you kind of know where you stand, and then we'll start setting some goals there with, hey, we got 8 games to go. We're right in here for the hunt for the conference championship. Our goal right now, let's go try to win a conference championship. Or it might be you're not quite to that level that year, and it's, hey, we got to find a way to win 5 of our last 8 so we can make the conference tournament or whatever. But I think the main goal we're trying to set when we first get together as a group is we're here to work hard every day and do what's right every day. And if we do that, at the end, the goals we want to set for ourselves will be something we'll be really happy to try to achieve.
And you look at Fort Hays State, the success they've had both on the national level, regional level. I mean, to get into that conference tournament and be successful there, to be able to play on, is almost a given. That I guess there's some disappointment in the fan base if Fort Hays doesn't have a successful program.
Yeah, and that's where you want to be. You want to be somewhere where there's people care and there's there's excitement. But with that comes that pressure. But again, I think that's what our players want. I know that's what a coach is. We want you want to be somewhere there's a little pressure on you, because when you have pressure, again, that means there's expectations and people care about what you're doing, and you get good support. And that's why, this year I think we were 3rd in the nation in attendance. We led the MIAA in attendance again this year, and hopefully we're putting a good product out there that people want to see.
And the fun games all add to that. It also adds, and one of the things, and I don't know if you take this into consideration, but when people come to Hays, they like to have fun things to do.
Right.
Fort Hays basketball, it's almost not economic development, but it adds to our community, especially when you get out there, you see the stands are full of people, how much fun it can be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think athletics can play a big part in that in sports. I mean, whether it be the university. I mean, we can hopefully bring people together, bring excitement. Again, you're giving people things to do and go out and kind of connect together. Just kind of like you see with the Royals. I mean, how much they're bringing everybody together is pretty awesome to see, and that's something maybe on a smaller slide, scale. We're trying to do the same thing and give something people can rally around and be proud of and want to come out and participate.
Coach, it's fun. I bet there's some tickets still for sale. If you want to sign up for the season, get your season tickets right now to come out and watch Fort Hays State basketball.
I would think so. And again, we'd love to have as many people out as we can.
Very good. Our guest is Coach Mark Johnson, head basketball coach at Fort Hays State University. Thanks for watching our program. It's brought to you by Hays Med and by Eagle Communication. Our community connected.
Youthful body, tight tummy, smooth facial lines. Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery is here to help you achieve your goals and give yourself the new look you've always wanted. Greystone offers sophisticated surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures. With services now available locally, there's no need to wait any longer. Contact Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery at Hays Medical Center today or online at greystonecosmetic.haysmed.com.